On September 4th, 476 CE, Rome came to an end. Faced with an advancing army led by the Germanic leader Odoacer, the last Western Roman emperor, Flavius Romulus Augustus, abdicated the throne of Rome. He was just 16 years old. By convention, his abdication marked the end of the Roman Empire. People would later refer to him as Augustulus, or the Little Emperor. The end of the Western Roman Empire marked the end of one era and the beginning of a new one, the Middle Ages. Welcome to the third module in Humanities and Western Civilization. In this module, we will see what happened next. We'll see the rise of two major religions, Christianity and Islam. We'll also see the beginnings of the Middle Ages, when Western Europe broke apart into individual kingdoms. In your readings this week, we will learn how the Roman Empire struggled to maintain unity and cohesion in its last few hundred years. Indeed, it was often ruled by two different emperors, one in the west based in Rome, the other in the east based in Constantinople. When the western half fell away in 476 and split into individual kingdoms, the eastern half continued on. Over time, the eastern half developed its own unique culture. It had always been different. For example, Greek tended to be the language spoken in the east rather than Latin. After the west fell away in 476, historians begin to call it something different, the Byzantine Empire. And the Byzantine Empire would continue through the entire Middle Ages, eventually falling to an invading Islamic force, the Ottomans, in 1453. So, needless to say, the Roman Empire that fell in 476 was a very different one than it had been at its height. For one thing, it was Christian. What had originally began as a small Jewish sect, an offshoot of Judaism, Christianity spread quickly. Early Christians risked arrest and even death. Over time, however, Christianity moved far beyond its beginnings as a small Jewish sect. Eventually, even upper-class Romans converted. By 380 CE, Christianity had triumphed and became the official religion of the Roman Empire. Christianity would later spread throughout Western Europe, converting the Germanic Kingdoms too. In this module, we will also learn what those new kingdoms, the heirs to the Roman Empire, were like. We'll see the emergence of new dynasties and rulers which hint at the modern countries which are their descendants, such as Francia, which eventually becomes modern-day France. We will also see Europe unite briefly again under the leadership of a great Frankish king and emperor, Charlemagne. In this module, we will also see the rise of another major world religion, Islam. The Prophet Muhammad was born in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, around 570 CE. For Muslims, Muhammad was the final prophet in a long line of prophets which included Jesus and Moses, sent by God to reveal their faith to mankind. According to Islamic texts and tradition, an angel named Gabriel visited Muhammad in 610 CE. The angel ordered Muhammad to recite the words of Allah. Starting in around 613 CE, Muhammad began preaching throughout Mecca the messages he received. Like Christianity before it, Islam would be incredibly successful and spread quickly. Within 150 years, it had spread throughout the Middle East and across North Africa and even into Europe. In 711 CE, Muslim forces invaded and in 7 years conquered the Iberian Peninsula, modern-day Spain and Portugal. There it became one of the great Muslim civilizations, reaching the summit with the Umayyad Caliphate of Cordoba in the 10th century.